Welcome to Pulp Mortem, the search for lost literary classic from the Pulp era.
Oh, hey, good morning, everybody. Well, this is a little bit awkward. I sleep in the nude. Oh my gosh. I feel like I've been asleep for years. Oh. I cannot clear the cobwebs. I feel like I've been asleep for years. Whew. What? It's just Seattle.
Hello, everybody. Oh my gosh, I'm a hot mess. Hair's messed up. I look all dewy, too. Look at me. I promise I'm not greasy. I promise I'm clean. I'm so tired. In any case, let's chat about Chad. Chadwick Oliver was an American anthropologist and writer born March 30th, 1928, and he died in 1993 at the age of 65. He received his PhD in anthropology at the University of California and became a professor at the University of Texas. Childhood illness forced young Oliver to spend a considerable amount of time indoors. While the neighborhood kids were out playing, little Chad was reading the pulps. Oliver's first published story was in Super Science Stories in 1950. Though his focus was anthropology and academia, Oliver contributed to science fiction throughout his life, writing 9 novels, including 3 westerns, and over 50 short stories. Say with me now, what a Chad! Which brings us to Winds of Time. This is normally where I'll read the back synopsis, but I won't do that here because it literally spoils the entire story.
It's just not right. That's messed up.
The book opens with Dr. Weston Chase on vacation. He's getting away from the hustle and bustle of busy LA life and is in the pristine, fresh, peaceful mountains of Colorado. While he's out fishing one day, he gets caught in a freak storm and he seeks shelter in a nearby cave. However, Dr. Chase discovers that he is not alone in this cave, and he is suddenly attacked and captured by these gaunt, skeletal figures. Wes is a prisoner, but over time, he realizes that these ghouls are actually humans. Humans that have just awoken from a 15,000-year slumber. The days go by, and Wes, despite himself, finds that he is beginning to gain sympathy for the plight of these misplaced men. For they're not only misplaced out of time, but they're also from another world. Wes finds himself torn with the decision to either break free and flee, or try and help them.
Today we're talking about Stockholm Syndrome. What is it and how does...
The Winds of Time is an original story first published in Doubleday in 1957. I own the pocketbook edition that came out a few years later. It is 153 pages and originally cost a shiny quarter. The cover is by Richard Powers. I didn't recognize his name at first, so I googled what was his nickname after reading it on the back cover without thinking, and, well, the rest is history. Literally, it's in my search history now, so yeah, I might have some splaining to do. And you know, this might be an unpopular opinion, but I like Powers' earlier pulp influence style much more than his later surrealist stuff. The original hardcover is pretty cheap. You should be able to get it for under 20, and any paperback edition you want, you can scoop up for around 5. Let's talk about what I liked. Going off of the age and cover of the book, I was ready for a pulp. But right off the bat, I was pleasantly surprised because Chad Oliver is a good writer. Oliver is not only skillful, but he's creative as well. Here, I'm gonna give you an example from the book here. One of the characters is on a spaceship that is experiencing some mechanical issues. Essentially, they're having a hard time exiting what is Oliver's version of hyperspace. And they fear they may not be able to come out of it intact. So essentially what happens is they exit hyperspace and the lights go out, right?
Oh, that's so much better. Those lights were brutal. Don't turn them on. And because the lights didn't work, I won't pay the rent. No, get those lights off. off! They're too bright. Turn them off!
Now, a normal writer might say something like, the lights flickered off, plunging us in darkness, which would be fine. I mean, even simpler would be the lights went out. And that would be great. That would be punchy to the point. It'd be fine writing that. Here's what Oliver says. He says, the darkness was a terrible thing. Arvin suddenly found himself without eyes, without a mind. In an instant, he was a boy again in a strange house. I mean, come on. Coming off of last episode, this is exactly what I needed to read. Special thanks to my buddy Luis Roberto for recommending this. Although, Luis, get to filming that book haul, man. You're teasing us about it, and we want to see it. In my post-reading research, I was not surprised at all to learn that Oliver was an avid outdoorsman. The beauty and danger of nature was, I think, captured perfectly in this small book. Like all well-presented passion, his passion is contagious, and after reading this, I wanted to go on a hike. In fact, you get the sense from Oliver that every time we were in a spaceship, or a city, or some ruins or something, you could tell that Oliver just couldn't wait to get us back to the woods. Now, this is a short book, but it's an impactful book, and Wes's inner conflict, I think, was handled really well. I found myself feeling some things while reading this. Maybe that's due to life circumstances, or maybe just Oliver's skill at drawing a reader in. I don't know. Could be. I really can't tell. What I can say is that despite plans to spread this book over a few days' time, I found myself reading in one sitting. The larger story here is fascinating. Humanity is not exclusive to Earth, but rather it is the natural course of evolution for the entire galaxy.
It just makes common sense.
I've often heard that it's pride to believe that our small planet is the only one capable of sustaining life in the universe. However, according to this book, it is pride to believe that your small planet is the only one capable of producing human life. The sleeping humans here were from the planet Lorta, and they have been scouring the universe looking for humanity. The reason behind their mission is just like how a solitary person, a person all alone on an island, eventually will not survive and will succumb to extinction. So it is with all of humanity. And so, no matter how technologically advanced a planet of humans will become, if they don't have that connection to another human planet, eventually they will perish as well. They inevitably destroy themselves shortly after they split the atom. The Lortans visit numerous radiation-bleached, just deserted ruins of planets, and their hope begins to wane. The Lortans know that despite their advanced technology, they too will eventually succumb to extinction without that human connection. Unfortunately, their mission ends in disaster. Their spaceship begins to fail, and they barely manage to crash land on a small planet called Earth. But they find humans! Unfortunately, hope immediately turns to despair because these humans on Earth have not yet achieved space travel, have not yet achieved the wheel. They are 15 to 20,000 years too early. Half or more of this book is the alien humans telling their backstory to Wes, and it is by far the best part of the book. The primitive humans portrayed here were great. They reminded me a lot of the natives in West of the Sun. You know, it's easy to just write cavemen with clubs, But Oliver here created a believable people. His anthropological expertise was obvious and welcome. And here's what, let me read you what John Clute had to say about Oliver. Oliver was a pioneer in the application of competent anthropological thought to SF themes, and though awkward construction and occasional padding sometimes stifled the warmth of his earlier stories, he was a careful author whose speculative thought deserves to be more widely known and appreciated. Beyond that, he was a writer who for some years thought it possible to honor the world he loved within the frame of 1950s sci-fi. And now, the bad. The padding that Clute mentions, I also noticed. There were some rabbit trails and inner monologues and speculation almost to the point of pontificating that didn't so much derail the story as it did slow it down. The most glaring example is that Oliver spent pages and pages chewing over the possible dangers of a 1,000-mile trek through an inner monologue, but the actual journey was subsequently rushed and abbreviated. There was so much buildup, and I was really looking forward to that journey, and we just didn't get it. I think it was just a misallocation of attention on Oliver's part, because I mean, the story, the structure, it was fine for a book of this size, but a 153-page book shouldn't have this much fat in it. I hate that the back cover spoils the story, but it doesn't just spoil the story, it spoils the ending too.
Spoiler alert.
And honestly, I would have felt suspense. I was caring about what happened. But having it spoiled for us immediately eliminated any tension and eliminated the impact of the ending, which was poignant, and it made it end on a whimper. What's worse is there is a story promo/tease on the first page. Let me read this for you. What would you do? You're a doctor from Los Angeles. You're on a vacation in the mountains, working a trout stream high above the timberline. Then it starts to hail and you look for shelter. It gets darker. You can't find the trail. Panic. You scramble up the rocks, find a cave, crouch down, shivering. You're exhausted, and you sleep. In the darkness of the cave, something is moving. You feel it even before you are fully awake. Something scraping. Something coming towards you. It's just a few feet away. Then you see a face, pasty, white, hollow-eyed, a tall thing, arms, hands reaching out. Why wasn't this on the back cover? I was so annoyed. All right, that's enough. Everybody go brush and pee, get ready for bed. Hey, stop fighting with your sister! The 1950s. Back when doctors smoked 2 packs a day and ate 4 chocolate bars for breakfast. I miss those days.
Cytotoxic cross-match of target HLA resulted in lyses of cells. Now, Jack, in layman's terms, what do you think that means?
The ship's mission was to find a planet that still had humans on it, make contact, no matter how long it took. There were 9 people on the Lortans ship, including a reporter and a novelist. Hold up a sec. At this point, they had been in outer space for 19 years. Okay. Novelist and reporter, what are you guys doing? The novelist, maybe I can see doing this. Maybe, just because, I can see a novelist potentially devoting a massive chunk of their life for a single book, just because novelists can be eccentric. But a reporter? Yeah, that'd be a good scoop, all right? We made human contact. That's a really good scoop, but, buddy, you haven't been to the office in 19 years. You don't have a job anymore. I don't know if you guys can tell this about me just judging from the screen, but I love parties. I love get-togethers. I love hosting parties. I love having people in my home. I love cooking and mixing and creating just wonderful experiences. Listen, SWIC parties, annual SWIC parties, people look forward to those and they talk about them. In fact, if you're ever in my neck of the woods, you let me know. I'll show you, okay?
You know, you look like you could use a friend.
No!
For more information and to read about stranger danger, go to our blog at
In this book, there's a caveman party. And it is by far my favorite part of the book. The Lortans are forced to follow these cavemen for miles. They hike for most of the day through the rain, the sleet, the mud. Finally, they arrive at these animal skin huts where they are soaked, exhausted, miserable, and wondering if maybe they're destined for the cooking pot. They all stand around the fire, awkwardly warming themselves and looking around. And then food is brought out. And then a bucket is passed around. It's booze. What follows is a prehistoric rager. Neanderthal? More like Neander. Thanks for the dranks.
And I'm ready to party.
The whole section was great. I love the build up to it. I love the reveal of the party. I really love the aftermath. Like I said, that whole section was just fun. If you think you've had a hangover before, you've never gotten smashed from Paleolithic mastodon swill. So what's the verdict? Personal collection. This is a well-told, competent story with heart, originality, emotion, and Oliver delivers a message with a deft hand without judgment or preaching. Thanks again to Louise for recommending this. It's a fine book that deserves not only to be read, but a place on your bookshelf. I'm officially on the lookout for original hardcover for my collection, but I'm going to keep this little pocketbook. So I'd say yes, go out and find yourself a copy. Just don't read the back cover. And that is my review of The Winds of Time. Have you guys read this? If so, let us know your thoughts in the comments below. As always, thanks for watching. I'll see you all next time with Doomsday Planet.
Turn off the lights! Turn off the lights! Turn off the lights! Turn them off!